In a quiet town surrounded by rolling hills and peaceful streets, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was intelligent, he was talented, and he had dreams bigger than most people his age. He wanted to build a successful life, make his parents proud, and achieve things that seemed impossible. But there was one problem. Daniel lacked self-control. Every morning he promised himself he would wake up early. Yet when the alarm rang, he pressed snooze again and again. Every evening he planned to study, but social media, games, and entertainment always seemed more attractive. Days became weeks, weeks became months. And slowly, Daniel realized something painful. His dreams were moving further away. One afternoon, he received the results of an important examination. His grades were far lower than expected. Looking at the paper, disappointment filled his heart. He knew he could do better, he knew he was capable of more, yet somehow he kept standing in his own way. That evening, he sat alone in a park near his house. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills, he watched an elderly man feeding birds. The old man noticed Daniel's sad expression. "Young man," he asked kindly, "why do you look so troubled?" Daniel hesitated but eventually shared his frustrations. The old man listened carefully, then he smiled. "Do you know the most powerful force in the world?" Daniel thought for a moment. Money, he guessed. The old man shook his head. "Power." Again, the old man shook his head. Finally, he said, "The most powerful force is self-control." Daniel looked confused. The old man continued, "A person who can control himself can control his future." Those words stayed in Daniel's mind long after he returned home. That night, he couldn't stop thinking about them. The next morning, he decided to make a change, not a huge change, just one small step. When his alarm rang at 6 o'clock, he immediately got out of bed. His body wanted to stay under the warm blanket. His mind whispered, "Sleep for 5 more minutes." But for the first time, Daniel refused to listen. It felt like a small victory, yet deep inside something had changed. He had won a battle against himself. Over the following weeks, Daniel continued practicing self-control. He created a schedule. He limited his screen time. He completed important tasks before allowing himself entertainment. At first, it was difficult, very difficult. Some days he wanted to quit, some days he failed, but every time he failed, he started again. Slowly, he became stronger. One day, his best friend Michael invited him to spend the entire weekend playing video games. Daniel was tempted. The old Daniel would have agreed immediately, but an important examination was approaching. He knew he needed to study. For several minutes, he struggled with the decision. Finally, he said, "I'll join you later, but first I need to finish my work." Michael laughed. "Since when did you become so serious?" Daniel smiled. "Since I decided to take my future seriously." That weekend, while many students wasted time, Daniel studied consistently, not because he felt motivated, not because he enjoyed every moment, but because he understood something important. Self-control means doing what is necessary even when you don't feel like doing it. Months passed. Daniel's habits continued improving. His grades increased. His confidence grew. His teachers noticed the difference. His parents noticed the difference. Even his friends noticed the difference. But the greatest change wasn't visible from the outside, it was happening within him. For the first time in his life, Daniel felt in control. He was no longer a prisoner of laziness. He was no longer controlled by distractions. He was becoming the master of his own choices. Then life presented him with a major challenge. His father lost his job. The family faced financial difficulties. Stress entered their home. Everyone became worried. Daniel could see the fear in his parents' eyes. Part of him wanted to give up on his goals. Part of him wanted to feel sorry for himself, but self-control taught him something valuable. Difficult circumstances are temporary, giving up is permanent. Instead of complaining, Daniel looked for solutions. After school, he found a part-time job at a local bookstore. He worked several hours every evening, then he returned home and studied late into the night. The schedule was exhausting. Many times he felt tired, many times he wanted to quit, but every day he reminded himself, temporary discomfort creates permanent growth. Years passed. Daniel graduated from high school with excellent grades. His hard work earned him a scholarship to a respected university. On the day he received the scholarship letter, tears filled his mother's eyes. His father hugged him proudly. "You earned this," his father said. Daniel smiled. Deep inside, he knew the scholarship represented much more than academic success. It represented years of discipline, years of self-control, years of choosing long-term goals over short-term pleasure. University brought new challenges. Students around him enjoyed complete freedom. Many spent their nights partying, many skipped classes, many wasted opportunities. Daniel was tempted just like everyone else, but he remembered the lessons he had learned. Every choice matters. Every habit matters, every day matters. While others looked for shortcuts, Daniel remained focused. While others complained, Daniel worked. While others quit, Daniel continued. And slowly his efforts began producing results. After graduation, he secured a position at a successful company. His career advanced quickly. Managers trusted him. Colleagues respected him, not because he was the smartest person in the room, but because he was reliable, disciplined, consistent. Years later, Daniel became a leader within the company. One afternoon, a young employee approached him. "Mr. Daniel," he asked, "what is the secret of your success?" Daniel smiled. He remembered the young man he once was. The young man who struggled with distractions and excuses. "The secret," he said, "it's self-control." The employee looked surprised. "That's all." Daniel nodded. "Most people know what they should do. The challenge is doing it consistently." The young employee listened carefully. Daniel continued. "Success isn't built in a single day. It's built through thousands of small decisions. The decision to wake up early. The decision to stay focused. The decision to keep going when things become difficult. The decision to control yourself instead of letting emotions control you." Years later, Daniel became known as a successful businessman and respected leader. People admired his achievements, they admired his confidence, they admired his success, but very few people understood the truth. His success began the day he learned self-control, the day he stopped blaming circumstances, the day he stopped making excuses, the day he decided to take responsibility for his actions, and that lesson changed his life forever. Narrator: Many people believe success comes from talent, others believe it comes from luck. But the truth is simpler than most people realize. Talent can give you an advantage. Luck can open a door, but self-control determines whether you walk through that door. It determines whether you continue moving forward when life becomes difficult. It determines whether your dreams remain dreams or become reality. Remember, every time you resist distraction, you become stronger. Every time you choose discipline, you build character. Every time you control your emotions, you gain power, because the greatest victory in life is not conquering others, it is conquering yourself. And once you master yourself, there is very little you cannot achieve. Moral of the story: glowing star self-control is the foundation of success. Small disciplined choices made every day can completely transform your future. Master yourself and you will master your life. Glowing star. Glowing star.